Welcome back to Spend Too Much Diecast. What is going on, crew? Welcome back to the channel. To all my returning crew members, if you are new here, welcome to Spend Too Much Diecast, where we do all different types of diecast unboxings. Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Jada, Fast and Furious. Right here is FanHome. Full collections, full cases, all that good stuff. Lots of stuff here on the channel. Alrighty, so we are going to be continuing the Fast and the Furious Brian's Nissan Skyline GTR R34 build put out by FanHome. We are chugging along pretty good. I actually just got the next box in, which is going to be, looks like it's all the lighting. So let's go ahead and get caught up with this. Hopefully you guys are up to date with this and you guys are getting your order shipped. I do know for the 143rd series that we do on here, again, I think they missed a shipment. They did the next one, so we'll have to wait a little bit on doing that one until I can get them in order. So let's just quickly go through what we're going to be doing. Again, you do have these books with all the information in them, some about the car, some about the movie franchise, all that good stuff. So definitely good reads on here, but it looks like we are going to be starting the rear differential in 39, and then issue 40. It looks like we're going to be doing the chassis rear section, so we're going to actually be getting this car put together, and this thing is getting pretty big as well. Alrighty, so now issue 41, we're going to be finishing up the rear suspension, getting the coilovers and everything else on there. So that is pretty cool. Letty is in that book. All right, 42 issue. I think are going to be probably putting this onto the car. '42 is the rear chassis stabilizer. So we're going to be getting that whole rear end done and probably ready to get in. Issue 43. Ooh, Dom versus Brian. Who's faster? 43, we're going to be working on the exhaust system. So that'll be pretty cool. And then 44, last issue on this one. See, we're going to be putting the remote control unit together. So that's why I said the next series we're going to start getting the all of the lighting in. In this issue, we will assemble a remote control that lights and sound features. Oh, it's going to have light and sound features. Oh, that is really cool. And then, like I said, in left turn. Oh, okay, we'll wait. I don't want to spoil it. But like I said, I do know in the next video, it is going to be us doing that lighting kit. So I do have that. We'll do that a little bit later. I try not to put these videos too much back to back because I do know they are about a half an hour long. So what I'm going to do as normal, I'm going to get everything unboxed over here, and then we'll start building this series. Alrighty, crew, and we are back. I do have the next issue here, which is 39. We're going to start that. So I did grab my tools. The one thing I will say is I did go out and buy a new set of tweezers for this build. Just because the ones that they gave us they don't have much crimping power. So I just went out to TJ Maxx and got just some new pliers or new tweezers, just because there are a lot of small parts in this, and these work a lot better than the ones they supplied us. As you can see, I mean, it doesn't hold much, and you have to like hold it all the way up here to get the pinching power you need. So that's just a little side note that I did. All right, and then I do want to say, make sure you guys, when you're unboxing these from the plastic, make sure you are careful, because sometimes the plastic bags with the screws are not inside of the plastic. Like you can see here, here are the screws. They're just kind of set on top in here. So make sure when you're opening your bags, you don't accidentally throw away your screws. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and get started with this. Alright, fine. Fit the rear drive shaft dust cover into the grooves at the end of the rear differential part 39B into 39D. So it looks like we have two of these. One will go there. And the other one will go on this side, which will sit there. All right, then next up, we're going to take the rear differential part and cover it with these parts here, and then it does say we're going to connect it with some AP screws, which are here. And like usual, guys, I will be fast forwarding certain parts and all that kind of stuff, because I do know that these videos get really long. I know a couple of ones in the past have been over an hour to do the build. So a lot of this parts of like me screwing stuff in and all that, I do cut out just so you guys can get a better experience on that. But you can always go back, and I try to give you the video after each part and explain it in case you guys are having trouble with that. But there are the two screws going in there. This is a plastic part, so again, don't over tighten your screws. All right, next up, it says we are going to be taking the rear refer to the image to correct orientation of the parts, then insert the post of the rear differential lid into the holes. So it looks like they're saying that it's going to be this way with the screws upward, and then it looks like the ridges are pointing down, and then this should just snap right in. And perfect. All right, now we are going to actually attach this to the chassis. So I got the subframe from the last video. It says retrieve the rear subframe assembly and place the tabs of the rear differential part and the highlighted screw parts on the subframe, and then we're going to screw it down. So let's see here. All right, so it looks like it is here, and then this is going to go like this, I believe. Yep, so there it is. It's going to go with this part under, this part on top. We got 1, 2, and then 3 screws there. We'll screw all that in, and then we'll come back. Alrighty, guys, and we are back. So this was actually 2 steps. The first one, like I said, we're putting this screw in, that part goes under, and then these 2 screws go above it. So it should look something like that. That was 1 step, and these 2 screws back here was another step. All right, so now it says we're going to be putting the CV boots and the drive shafts together. And it does say to check the parts. It looks like the boots are the same, but the drive shafts might be different. No, the drive shafts look to be the same as well. It's probably just how you orientate it into this part here. All right, so it says to put the part angled out into the CV boot. All right, and then it looks like that part is going to be going into the end of this, and then the end of that is going to be fitting into the knob there. Alrighty, guys, we got that on. That is kind of a pain. You kind of got to pull this part up and push in and try to get it like that. So let's see what I can do here for you guys. So like I said, putting this piece on first was the easiest. All right, so I basically got both of them on. The best thing to do for this one is, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But if you push it upwards like that, it's a lot easier to get popped on, and then you can straighten it out like that. So the next step is going to be the other side, which we already did. And now it is saying that we are saving this piece for another build. So that was your step 39. Let me go get 40 out, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, guys. Here we are with section 40. So there's only one piece to this section, but I think we are going to be attaching it to the car, which, yes, we are. So basically, there's nothing to this step, but basically attaching this rear part to the part we already have. So let's see what it's telling us to do. All right, so this part, let's see if I can get this on camera for you guys. All right, so it looks like these are the tabs. See, there's the screw holes. I think part of it is going to go towards the bottom, and then part of it is going to go on the top. So that slides in there. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, now basically we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. And there might be a couple more. So I guess let me go ahead, get these things screwed in, and this is probably going to be the build. But then we'll show you guys how big this thing is coming together. Alrighty, guys, and we are finishing that up. So there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. That is the chassis, and we'll just zoom out there. All right, there it is. It is huge. It's about 18 inches long so far, and then it does have a thing here about the self-tapping screws when connecting metal parts to the chassis. You'll use tapping screws to enable the screw to go smoothly. It just says to go back and forth, but I don't know. They went in pretty good, I think, and they're all tight. So there is that one. So now we're going to be going on to issue 41, which I think is part of the rear suspension. So basically, we have the front and back done. The motor is done. So now we should be adding some suspension parts and then going from there. All right, so let's go ahead and get issue 41 open. Alrighty, 41 is going to be the rear suspension. We've already kind of done this in another video when we did the front suspension, but basically we're going to have to do it again now for the back. So let's see here. We have AJM screws, which are these, because they got a little bit of a head on them. So I'll put those over here. All right, so now it looks like we're connecting that to a bracket. So that screw to a bracket, to the control arm, to another bracket, to a another screw. So we're gonna go get these attached, these brackets attached, and then we'll come back and that will get attached to the chassis. Alrighty, guys, we are back. So I went ahead and built both of them right away, just because we are gonna need one for each side. But basically all the parts are exactly the same. It's just how you build it. So make sure you got your brackets angling out. With the big circle part is what's getting screwed in, because that's going to attach to something. You're going to need 2 of those. And then it says we're going to be doing the left one first, and this is going to attach to this part right here. So here is your rear chassis. This part is going to attach in there with a screw, which is an AEM screw. And then we're going to do the suspension, and then we'll probably have to do the other side. And of course, these are long because they're going to have to go all the way through. And you're probably only going to be able to get it from one direction because the other direction is going to be trapped by that screw. Alrighty, and that is in. I tightened it as much as I could. I kind of gave it a little bit of a play just in case if we got to move this so it is easy to move. Okay, next up we're going to be is getting these suspensions together. I do remember in the other video these were kind of hard to get, so let's see, are these labeled? Okay, we do have a left side and a right side suspension. Let's see, I don't know if these are the same or not. Oh, yep, these are also labeled left and right. So we're going to take the left side with the left side, and it looks like, oh, nope, it's actually these. And these are also labeled as well, left and right. All right, so this is going to get attached like this with that knob sticking up and this knob also sticking up. So it's going to get attached like that. All right, so we got that side done, and I did go ahead and get the other side done just to have off to the side. But I just do want to make a small note. You can see that there's two sides to this. There's a bigger side and then a smaller side. You do want to have the screw going into the bigger circle side because then when it's completely screwed in all the way, the screw will stay flush. If you go in that way, it won't fit. All right, now I do know this is the hard part that I had to do off of camera last time. So we have the two left sides here, and then we have the suspension. And then basically the suspension goes on the top there, and then this you have to feed down in, basically like this, and then you turn it and it locks in the suspension. But it is a very tight fit, and I remember last time you actually have to like pinch down the suspension. So you got to pinch it down as far as you can and then try to turn it and then lock it in place. Alrighty guys, and we got it in. So the best thing you can do is try to push it down and turn it a little bit, and then I just took my pliers very carefully, or my tweezers I should say, and twisted the top. So I know we're gonna have to do the other one too, so I'm just gonna get that done right away so that when it's time to install these, I don't have to keep building them. But basically, there you go. There's the suspension. There is your top part. Now this one's going to be the opposite way because it's the right. So all right, so actually I did get this one pretty good on camera for you guys. So there we go. There is your suspension. All right, so like I said, we're doing the left side first. So here's your left side shock. We already got that control arm in. So now I think what happens is this gets attached. Is it somewhere over here? Alright, so I figured out how to do it. So basically I had this bent outwards, which wasn't supposed to be. You got to bend it inwards. So it's like that. And then when you look at it, the bottom, you have this piece right here, which is next to that piece. That is where your shock is going to go. It's going to fit in there. But the only thing is this part up here, you can see how there's a notch. It really doesn't explain in the direction where that should be, if it should be facing inward or outward. So I'm going to do it facing inward because that's kind of what the picture looks like. It really doesn't explain. So hopefully that will work. If not, we're going to have to unscrew this and flip it around. So basically it's going to go in there and then that's going to get attached with a AM screw, and then we'll be back. Alrighty, crew, we are back. All right, I'm just going to do a quick recap on this because there are some stuff in here that I did learn afterwards that we're going to need to know. So, like I said, these parts here were all the same. It didn't matter where you did the brackets, but you do have a left and a right. And it says make sure this is the outer part, this is the inner part. It does say when you put on these L brackets or these whatever they're considered, that the L is sticking outward towards the exterior. And then that way, eventually when it gets folded down, it will be facing up, as you can say. And then I did relook at the picture at the end, which is here, and you can see right there the notches are actually facing out. So I did change the other one, but see how there's a little notch there? That should be facing out. It really didn't say in the directions there which way to put it. This one, the picture was a little bit better where you can see it was facing out. So I did switch that. But then basically you have the same thing on this side. You want the R facing out, and then you want that notch facing out. Eventually that'll pop in there, and then this will be here. And the reason they do that is because you can see there's a little like indentation there. I think that is for then the strut kind of plays a part with that. So basically that was this build for 41. So we're going to go right into 42. I will have to get the pieces opened and get our place cleared up. But basically, it looks like with this one, we're still going to be using this part, and we're going to be adding the rear chassis stabilizer. So let me go ahead, get these, this build cleaned up and the other build unboxed, and then we'll come back. Alrighty, and we got everything unboxed. There is a lot of screws for this build, so I'm not sure what exactly we're going to be doing. We have some plastic pieces, we have some metal pieces, looks like we got the drive shaft and all that stuff. So I guess we'll just get into it. Alright, so we're still working on this rear suspension. So it looks like we're starting off with retrieving the rear subframe suspension assembly, which kind of looks like this. And then this is going to go on this part here. Let me try to get so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I do know the camera view gets kind of hard, and it's kind of hard for me to see the instructions with it so far away, but I think it's going to be it's going to be like this, with the curved part down onto this. This is going to go here and here. Oh yeah, you can see it fits in right like that. So that's going to be the first step, and that's going to get screwed in with AM screws. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back. Alrighty guys, we got that done. Again, that's how it should be, angled down there. All right, next step says we're going to take the rear right stabilizer arm and the rear left stabilizer arm over the highlighted holes of the rear subframe, connect them with AM screws. All right, so there's two holes up there, and then you can see there's a notch and a hole. Basically, the notch will fit into the hole, and then that is going to get screwed in with an AM screw, and then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. There's the notch, there's the screw. So let's go ahead and get those screwed in. Alrighty guys, and that is in. That's how it should be. Eventually something will connect to the ends. All right, now it looks like we're getting some other parts out. We have the insert the right bracket marked with the L bracket. All right, guys, we are back. That was kind of a pain. I'm not sure if I just read the instructions wrong, but it really didn't explain it. But I think I had to redo the brackets here. When you put it on here, I had this part facing in, when it should face out. So basically, this is how it would go. So your big bracket, your right-hand bracket, I think it is. Is that what it is? Right? Yep, your right-hand bracket would go on this side, and your left-hand bracket goes on that side. So when you build it, you actually build it this way. So just make sure, if you want to look at it there, that's what it looks like. And then I ended up actually not putting this piece on first. I ended up putting on this piece first. And when you have your letters, this is going to be your right side, this is going to be your left side. The R is going to go towards the inner part, and the L is going to go towards the inner part. That way it fits there. So then that piece goes there, that piece goes there. And then basically this part, the bigger side of the bracket goes over, and then the little part of the bracket goes underneath. I had so much trouble figuring that out. So basically that is what you should end up with. And then I did leave these loose until I attached them, and then I did tighten them up after. So that is where we are now. That took me a while. It was super hard. And like I said, these instructions are not the best to figure out. All right, now it looks like we're going to be back up to this part. We have this huge bracket here. It looks like we are going to be attaching it to here and here. And it does look like that it is going to be upside down like that. Okay, so that gets attached with AP screws, so we'll get that attached and then we'll come back. Alrighty, that is how it goes, like that. Alright, now it looks like we are going to be putting in the drive shaft. So here's your drive shaft. It looks like this little part here is going to go first. So this looks like it's going to attach basically in just like that and resting on the rear differential. All right, now we're going to have to flip this bad boy over, and we are going to be putting this into the bottom of here. All right, so there's going to be a part there. You can see the notches. That's where the suspension is going to go into. And then the drive shaft is going to fit right into there. So let's see if we did this correctly. All right, drive shaft is in. All right, there is the rear suspension popped in. And now it says we're going to, so I think what they're talking about is right here. We are going to basically put the screws in the front here and the back one, and those are with AM screws, which I have over here. So let's see if that actually works. Alrighty guys, so we got that in. Basically, you just got to, you have your bracket here, there's one screw there, there's one screw tucked in, and then you got to make sure that your suspension fits into there. Other than that, all your stuff here should align up. There's your drive shaft, and then on the other side, it's going to be the same. You have one there, one tucked up behind there, and then make sure your suspension pops in the top, because all that is going to be good. All right, now it looks like what we're going to be doing is screwing in everything on the top. So let me see if I can set you guys up for what we're doing up here. All right, so this is the back of the vehicle. There's going to be a bunch of screws going in here, starting off with CM screws, which, like, that's probably why there's so many of these screws, because of all this stuff here. So CM is going to be the top of your suspension, so that should grab your strut. All right, that grabs your strut. and then AP screws and more CM screws. Alrighty, crew, and we are back. All right, so we got all that on. So basically everything that you're screwing in on top kind of revolves down here. If you remember, this was the part that connected here. The 2 screws bring that piece in and that piece in. And then there's 2 other screws that bring the top of your differential in. There's another screw up here that brings this piece up to the top and the bottom one up to the top. And then there's 2 other screws that are right here on the top that basically bring this whole part up and everything up. So everything now is connected and tight, so none of this stuff should fall off or be low. Make sure you do have your drive shaft all connected into there. So that is pretty cool. I don't think it's actually, I mean, it does spin, but I don't think it's gonna move if you move the wheels or anything like that, because I know we do have the steering here and all that other stuff. All right, so now there's one more build for this episode, and it looks like it is going to be the exhaust. So let me get all my extra screws and everything put away, and then we'll come back with the exhaust build, and then that should end this episode of these builds. All right, guys, and we're back. Actually, we have 2 more builds. I forgot that we had to do the remote control. So before I continue on, I do just want to say thank you for all my crew members out there who like, share, comment, subscribes, all that good stuff. We are growing this channel more and more every day, and it's because of you guys. But there are a lot of people that are new to this channel that aren't subscribed. We actually have more viewers that are new, that are returning. So if that is the case, just go ahead and join the crew. By doing that, all you need to do is hit the bell notification down below. Join the crew, hit the bell notification, give this video a thumbs up, all that good stuff. It does help with the algorithm of YouTube. But thanks for coming along with this build with me. I do know there are some parts that I don't get to get on camera, but as you can see, the bigger this vehicle gets, the harder it is going to be. So it looks like we do have a lot of parts in this one. We are going to be building the suspension, or sorry, the exhaust. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So it looks like we are starting with the tailpipe. Insert that into the muffler selection selector, blah, 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 blah. And then screw it in with the AP screw. So I do believe it's, now this is going to be the part where it's like, what is the correct way to go with it? All right, that lines up nice. There's the exhaust. We do have a lot of screws in this one. I already got everything out. So we'll just go one by one, get this stuff screwed in, and have at it. It'd be cool if I can find like some, like how you have the oil slick. I wonder if they sell oil slick paint, because that would be kind of cool to paint it this way. All right, next up then we have a bunch of exhaust, and it's kind of stinks that none of these exhaust pieces are like labeled, so you just kind of got to match them up and see what pieces go where. Because here it says to take 43N, which could be any one of these. All right, we got a match. These two match up. All right, and these are also being held on with AP screws. So this is basically like a giant puzzle, guys. We're just going to have to see which pieces fit together where. And then all these pieces are plastic, so make sure when you're screwing stuff in, don't over tighten, don't go too much, because you don't want to crack anything, break anything. All right, now it's saying we are going to be taking this one that we just built and put it into the exhaust. Like that. Hopefully that is the correct way. See, that's what's going to suck, is it's not going to tell you. Okay, so it looks like the screws, if you look at the picture down here, it looks like the screws are pointing up. So we're going to do that, and then that gets attached with, oh, now we're putting the cover over it. All right, and then this whole thing gets attached with AP screws. So we don't actually screw the pipe in. All right, now we're going back to the end of this. It looks like we have a part here that is going to be attached. Looks like that's going to be attached with a BP screw. Oh, because I had it the other way. See, you got to have it the correct way. There we go. There is the gap. Like I said, guys, this is a little bit of a puzzle. All right, so now there is the muffler with the pipe. Then it's connecting to this, which they're calling, I don't know what they're calling it, the outer end of the exhaust. All right, now it looks like we're building another pipe. So now that we're getting down to the end, should be able to match these pipes a little bit better. Okay, here we go. And then this, we are connecting 2 screws to this one. All right, moving on. Now this one's gonna probably get attached to this side. Yep, and then that one is a BP screw. All right, and then that is going to attach to the catalytic converter. Possibly. Okay, so that looks like that'll go in there like that. That is another AP screw. Actually, we missed a step. This cover needs to go on first. And that is another 2 screws. All right, now we're on to the catalytic converter, which we did that step. Okay, next up, it says we're taking these 2 pieces and attaching them with, again, another AP screw. I don't know why I'm putting it. Okay, so that fits on there like that, sticking up. And then this piece should fit right over it. There we go, like that, and then that gets held in with 3 screws. Oh, it's only 2. Duh, because then this piece is probably going to fit into here. Okay, and then that gets screwed in. Oh, okay, it does snap in all the way. There we go. I was gonna say I wasn't getting it to snap in, but I got it. There we go. There we go. There's the exhaust. Is there, I don't think there's another cover for the catalytic. And now this whole thing is going to get screwed into the bottom. And then it looks like we're screwing everything on from the top. All right, so let's flip this thing over. All right, yep. So I'm going to have to do this off camera because it's going to have to play around with it, but there's gonna be 2 screws. You can't see it, it's off here. 2 screws for the muffler. There's gonna be a screw here. There's gonna be 2 screws here, and then eventually your motor parts are gonna connect to the exhaust. So we'll do that. All right, guys, and we are back, and we got everything done. All right, so basically here it is. There's 2 screws there, a screw there, 2 screw there, and then a screw in the front. I started off with screwing that on just so I would have a little bit more stability, so I wouldn't have to hold the whole exhaust. But you can basically see there was 2 screws right there for the muffler. There was a screw somewhere there in the middle. There are some screws there, and then the last one is up there. Just make sure before you screw in your last screw that you do have your pipes on your engines attached. So there we go. So there is basically the build. We have one more quick part where we're just going to be connecting the controller. But that is where we are so far, guys. Rear suspension is in, engine is in, exhaust is in. We do have the seats that we haven't attached yet because we have to screw in all the bottom stuff first, but eventually there is going to be your seats fitting somewhere in there like that. So there's kind of your interior. All right, here is the last one, which is the remote. And like I said, in the next video, we will be doing all the lighting kit. So this seems to be pretty easy. Should just be putting the remote together, not that many parts. So here we are. First part of the remote, it's just basically saying to put in the controls, which that's pretty easy. Okay, next up we're going to be adding the chip. Which will go in there like that. Just be careful for it. Okay, then we'll be putting on the back. Which I just want to make sure I don't make sure that's on straight. All right. If we need to adjust the chip in there, I guess we can. All right, and then, oh great, we are gonna have to get a battery. So I will have to pick up a battery before we do the next unboxing. So basically there's the battery. So there's the remote. So it looks like we have lights, horn, revving, headlights, high beams, turn signals, reverse lights, and all that good stuff. And then it does say to save the other piece for the next assembly. So we got to be careful with that. All right, so what do we have? We have the first button is going to be lights, position lights, dashboard, license plate, and neon lights. Oh, yes. Then we have the horn, the engine start, the dipped headlights, the high beam headlights, the rear fog lights, left turn signal, right turn signal, warning light, reverse lights, and brake lights. So there was the remote. Like I said, guys, the next video is going to be the lighting kit, and we'll be able to see if everything works. I will pick up a battery. So we have that. But there we go, guys. There is the build for this one. This was issue 30, what was it, 39? 39 through 44. And then the next issue is going to be us getting all the lighting kit together. So thank you guys for watching it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of this build. Hopefully you guys got to see all the parts in case you guys are struggling doing some parts. But there it is. Thank you for doing this build with me. I do appreciate it. I am looking forward to doing the rest with you guys here on the channel. But there's the build. Until next time, thanks for watching Spent Too Much Diecast, and we'll see everybody next time. Bye.